Every month I opened the same bottle. Fish oil capsules. The label promised heart health, brain function, joint support. I never questioned it. Most of us do not. Then I found a number that stopped me. 64%. A single plant, growing wild across half of Asia, contains 64% omega-3 fatty acids. More than any fish, more than any supplement on the shelf. And it costs $5 to grow. Forever. 2,000 years of documentation. 500 million people eating it every week. And an $8 billion industry that has never mentioned its name. This is the story of the omega leaf. By the end of this video, you will know how to grow a permanent supply of omega-3, food and medicine, in a single bucket. If that sounds impossible, stay with me. And if you find value in what comes next, subscribe. Walk into any Korean barbecue restaurant tonight. Look at the table. Those dark green leaves wrapped around the meat. That is perilla, kkaennip. Koreans eat it the way Americans eat lettuce. It is everywhere. It is ordinary. And almost no one outside of Asia can name it. Every autumn in rural South Korea, a ritual repeats itself. A grandmother carries a basket of dried perilla seeds to a hand press that has sat in the same corner for decades. She does not buy omega-3 capsules. She has never seen the inside of a supplement store. She does not know what AALA stands for. But her joints move well. Her mind stays sharp. Her grandchildren eat leaves she picked that morning. She presses the seeds. Dark amber oil fills a ceramic jar. This jar will last through winter. No subscription, no shipping, no expiration date. Just rain, soil, and patience. Now cross the sea to Japan. In Kyoto, sashimi arrives on a plate lined with shiso leaves, not for decoration, for protection. Shiso contains paraldehyde, a compound that kills bacteria on contact. Japanese chefs have known this for centuries. Western food science confirmed it in 2003. In Beijing, traditional medicine practitioners still prescribe perilla for respiratory support. The same prescription appears in texts over 2,000 years old. In Seoul, they wrap it. In Kyoto, they garnish it. In Beijing, they prescribe it. 500 million people eat this plant every single week. But here is where the story fractures. In Korea, it is called kkaennip. In Japan, shiso. In China, sisu. In Vietnam, tia to. 4 names, 4 languages. No unified identity in English. The plant with no name in the language that dominates the internet. The language that controls search engines, research funding, and supplement marketing. And so, it disappeared. Not from the fields, not from the kitchens, but from the conversation. The archive opens at the root of the omega leaf. The earliest written record appears in the Shennong Benshou Jing, a Chinese text from approximately 200 AD. It lists perilla for respiratory support, digestive comfort, and what the text calls calming the spirit. In 2004, researchers at Okayama University confirmed that rosmarinic acid, the primary compound in perilla leaves, reduces allergy symptoms by 50%. 2,000 years apart, the same conclusion. In 1613, the Korean medical text Donggwibogam documented 17 distinct uses for perilla, leaves, seeds, stems, and oil. That text was translated into English in 1999, 386 years after it was written. During the Edo period in Japan, an estimated 90% of households grew shiso, not as medicine, not as a cash crop, as a daily essential. They used it 3 ways: food, medicine, light, one plant served all three. The seeds burned as lamp oil through winter. The leaves fed families through summer. The roots and stems supported respiratory health through the cold months. For centuries, this was not remarkable. This was Tuesday. Here is what makes perilla different from almost every other crop you have ever planted. One plant produces between 1,000 and 4,000 seeds. Germination rate, 85%. Seed viability, 5 years or more. You plant it once. It plants itself every year after that. One decision by one ancestor feeds descendants for centuries. And those leaves are not just garnish. Per 100 grams of fresh perilla leaf, 3.9 grams of protein, 230 milligrams of calcium, 1.7 milligrams of iron, 5,520 international units of vitamin A. That is more vitamin A than carrots, more calcium than milk, more iron than spinach. Crush a fresh leaf between your fingers. Mint, basil, a trace of cinnamon. Nothing else smells like this. It is the smell of a plant that has been feeding families for longer than most countries have existed. In 1991, a research team in India published a study that should have changed the supplement industry overnight. They measured the fatty acid profile of perilla seed oil. The result? 64% alpha-linolenic acid, ALA. The plant-based omega-3 that supports brain function, helps manage inflammation, and maintains cell membrane integrity, 64%. Compare that. Flaxseed oil, 53%. Chia seed oil, 58%. Perilla, 64%. The highest concentration of any seed ever recorded. And the seeds themselves are 35 to 45% oil by weight. Nearly half of every seed, pure omega-3 rich oil. In Korean farming villages, families still press these seeds by hand. A ceramic jar of dark amber oil sits in the kitchen through winter. They drizzle it on rice. They mix it into kimchi. They rub it into their skin when the air turns dry. The omega leaf held the record for the highest plant-based omega-3 concentration ever measured. And almost no one in the Western world knew. This is not conspiracy. This is economics. Research funding follows patents. Patents require control. And a self-seeding plant that grows in every climate zone on Earth cannot be controlled. The global omega-3 supplement market was valued at $7.68 billion in 2024. Fish oil controls 61.5% of that market. That is roughly $4.7 billion, flowing through an industry built on capsules, subscriptions, and repeat purchases. The average American household spends between $120 and $300 per year on omega-3 supplements. A single packet of perilla seeds costs $5. One harvest provides enough for a year. The seeds replant themselves. The cycle never stops. Every link in the chain, growing, processing, selling, repeating, perilla threatens all of it. I assumed the science was settled. That if a plant truly contained 64% omega-3, the research would be everywhere. Thousands of studies, headlines, industry attention. It was not. I searched PubMed, the largest medical research database in the world. Fish oil returned over 15,000 peer-reviewed studies. Perilla returned 400, a ratio of 37 to 1. 15,000 studies on a supplement you buy in a bottle. 400 on a plant that has been feeding 500 million people for 2,000 years. The gap is not random. Most perilla research was published in Korean, Japanese, and Chinese journals. Until the early 2000s, almost none of it was indexed in English-language databases. Researchers at Seoul National University identified hundreds of studies that had never been translated. 2,000 years of knowledge on one side, $4 billion of industry funding on the other, and a language barrier sitting quietly between them, making sure nothing crossed over. This is not a failure of science. This is a failure of translation. And translation follows money. But the studies that did cross over changed everything. In 2004, researchers at Okayama University in Japan tested rosmarinic acid, the primary phenolic compound in perilla leaves. They found it reduced seasonal allergy symptoms by 50%. The Shenong Benkao Jing had listed perilla for respiratory support 1800 years earlier. That same year, a separate team studied perillaldehyde, the compound that gives perilla its distinctive smell. They found it inhibited tumor cell growth in laboratory conditions. Japanese families had been using shiso as an antibacterial food protector for centuries, without knowing the mechanism. In 2017, a Korean research team demonstrated that alpha-linolenic acid from perilla oil protected neurons from oxidative damage. The Dongyi Bogum had documented perilla for calming the spirit 400 years before. And in 2024, a study published in Frontiers in the Neuroscience found that perilla compounds influence the gut-brain axis, a pathway now linked to Parkinson's disease research. 4 studies, 4 confirmations, each one validating what traditional practitioners documented centuries ago. But here is what no one says out loud. Each benefit threatens an industry. Rosmarinic acid competes with allergy medications. Perillaldehyde challenges food preservative companies. ALA competes with fish oil capsules. And the whole plant, growing in a bucket for free, competes with all of them at once. 400 studies buried behind a language wall, and the ones that escaped pointed in the same direction. Now, the honest part. Alpha-linolenic acid converts to EPA and DHA in the human body at roughly 5 to 10%. The supplement industry is correct about this. If your only goal is to maximize EPA and DHA levels, fish oil is more efficient. But perilla is not a fish oil replacement. It is something else entirely. Rosmarinic acid, perillaldehyde, 3.9 grams of protein per 100 grams, 230 milligrams of calcium, 1.7 milligrams of iron, 5,520 units of vitamin A. Fish oil gives you one thing. This leaf gives you 17. This is not a replacement. This is an addition, a backup, a hedge. And unlike a bottle of capsules, it grows back, growing. The omega leaf requires almost nothing. It thrives in USDA hardiness zones 2 through 11. That covers nearly every climate on the continent. If you can grow basil, you can grow perilla. Here is the setup. Step 1. Soak the seeds in water for 24 hours. This breaks dormancy and doubles germination speed. Step 2. Fill a 3 to 5 gallon bucket with standard potting mix. Any bucket with drainage holes will work. Step 3. Scatter the seeds across the surface. Do not bury them. Perilla seeds need light to germinate. Press them gently into the soil with your palm. Step 4. Mist daily. Keep the surface damp but not soaked. Germination takes 7 to 21 days. Step 5. When seedlings reach 2 inches, thin to 1 or 2 plants per bucket. That is the entire supply list. A bucket, soil, water, sunlight, $5, 5 minutes. By week 3, green shoots. By week 6, 8 inches of growth. By week 10, a full bushy plant, producing leaves you can harvest every week. You will notice 2 varieties, green perilla and purple perilla. Both contain omega-3. Purple varieties tend to have higher concentrations of rosmarinic acid. Green varieties are milder in flavor. Grow both if you have space. Now, a necessary warning. This plant self-seeds aggressively. In open ground, it will spread. It will volunteer in garden beds, between pavers, along fence lines. Some gardeners call it invasive. In a container, it serves you. The same trait that makes it unstoppable in a field is what makes it valuable in a bucket. You are not fighting this plant. You are containing its generosity. In hot climates, grow it as a fall crop. In cold zones, start seeds indoors 6 weeks before your last frost. If this is changing how you think about omega-3, consider subscribing. We explore forgotten plants every week, and what comes next in this video is how to turn those seeds into oil. When your perilla plants flower in late summer, let them. Do not cut the flower stalks. This is the most important moment in the cycle. The flowers produce seed heads. Each head contains hundreds of seeds. When the heads turn brown and dry, harvest them. Shake them into a paper bag. You now have next year's crop, and enough to share with anyone who asks. For oil production, you need a hand press. A small manual oil press costs under $100. Cold pressing preserves the omega-3 content. Heat destroys it. Press the seeds slowly. Dark amber oil will collect in the reservoir. Filter it through cheesecloth. Store it in dark glass bottles, away from heat and light. Shelf life: 12 months or more. The seed cake left behind is not waste. It is high-protein animal feed, or compost, or fertilizer for next season's crop. Nothing is lost. One harvest provides a full year of omega-3 supplementation for a household. No capsules, no fish, no industry between you and the mushrooms source. And those seeds you saved, they are viable for 5 years. No electricity needed to store them. No refrigeration, no subscription, while others depend on shipping routes and supply chains. You depend on rain. Let a few plants go to seed in the bucket each autumn. The seeds fall, they overwinter, they germinate in spring. The cycle never stops. You started it once. Nature finishes it, every year after that. In a small apartment in Osaka, a woman in her 70s grows shiso on a windowsill. 3 clay pots. That is all she has. She picks the leaves every morning and places them on her grandchildren's plates. She learned this from her mother, who learned it from hers. 4 generations. 1 windowsill. $0 spent on seeds after the first planting. This is not gardening. This is botanical inheritance. In Namdaemun Market in Seoul, perilla leaves are stacked in bundles taller than the vendors who sell them. In Nishiki Market in Kyoto, shiso is displayed beside fish so fresh it was swimming that morning. In both places, perilla is ordinary, unremarkable, as common as salt, and that is exactly why the West never noticed. What cannot be owned cannot be sold. What cannot be sold cannot be marketed. What cannot be marketed disappears from the conversation. 3 generations of Westerners grew up without hearing the word perilla. 3 generations bought fish oil capsules from an industry that knew this plant existed and said nothing. The archive closes where it began, with a seed that remembers what we forgot. You do not need a farm. You do not need permission. You do not need a subscription. You need a bucket, some soil, and the decision to start. The omega leaf is waiting. If this story changed something for you, subscribe. Share this with someone who still opens the same bottle every month. And come back next week. The archive opens again.